Dr. Morris Gleeson, how did you get involved with the O'Malley DNA project?
Well, I've been involved with DNA for quite some time, just doing my own family history. And I run the Gleeson DNA project and various other projects to research specific surnames. But a couple of years ago, I was approached by a few O'Malleys from Limerick who said, could you look at our results and tell us what they mean? And I quickly became fascinated with the O'Malley surname, the history of the O'Malley clan, and particularly with Grace O'Malley herself. So I've become an O'Malley by association. But in my defence, I will say that some of my ancestors were intelligent enough to actually marry an O'Malley. So that's my claim to the O'Malley name. And what we would assume from surname distribution maps is that back in 1901, when they did the census, there was a big clump of O'Malleys around Mayo, which is what you'd expect. But there was also a big clump around Limerick. And that kind of matches with what the surname dictionaries tell us. So back in 1923, the Reverend Patrick Wolfe brought out his surname dictionary of Irish surnames, and he talked about a clan from Mayo and also a group of families from Limerick. So we were expecting two distinct genetic signatures, one for Mayo, one for Limerick. But what we found were 17. So there's 17 distinct genetic signatures associated with the O'Malley name. But the biggest of these 17 is one in Mayo and one in Limerick. And the Mayo group has about 35 people in it so far, and the Limerick group has 10 people in it so far. And altogether we have 270 people in the O'Malley DNA project, and 136 of them have done the Y DNA testing, which goes back along the father line, just like the surname goes back along the father line. So we are making great discoveries about the great variety of genetic signatures being associated with the O'Malley surname.
That is this group down here, and these are thought to represent the descendants of the original person who started the O'Malley surname in Mayo, and his name was Malley, and all of his descendants were O'Malley, the son of Malley or the descendant of Malley.
Brendan, you're former chieftain of the O'Malley clan, the Limerick side.
Yes, indeed. I was chieftain in 2019. And the way the clan works is every year we elect a Taoiseach who serves as the deputy chieftain for a year and then becomes chieftain the following year. So there's a term of office for a year, and the main responsibility of the chieftain is to organise the gathering for the following year.
Joe used to come out to Clare Island, and I'll just tell you very quickly about Clare Island. Because we believe that Clare Island is where Grace O'Malley, was born. She is buried there in the Abbey, or so we're told.
So this year, our chieftain is Tom O'Malley. In fact, he's been the longest running chieftain of the O'Malley clan because of the coronavirus. Usually, when you become chieftain, it's 1 year, and your job is really to organise the gathering the following year, and also to promote O'Malley heritage as well. And that's why the O'Malley clan is really interested in the O'Malley castles around Clubay, particularly the one on Clare Island, as well as the wall paintings in the old Cistercian Abbey on Clare Island, which we have been interested in since the conservation started in the early 1990s.
So what can people look forward to today now?
Well, today we're really honoured to have the Peacemaker, Pádraig O'Malley, who was very involved in the Good Friday Agreement behind the scenes. He's an amazing negotiator. He was also involved in the negotiations in Israel and lots of other parts of the world where there have been troubles. And we have our former Taoiseach, Enda Kenny, who will be interviewing him this afternoon. This is the torque that the Guardian Chieftain gets. And a Guardian Chieftain is elected by the former chieftains, and the term is 4 years, and it can be renewed for another 4 years. So I'm in my second 4 years, so I'll be handing this on next year. And this is a cloak that we had made by Beth Mourne, a weaver on Clare Island. So this is the cloak for the Guardian Chieftain. And as you can see on the torque here, we have all the names of the former Guardian Chieftains, and and on the fada here, it's the Clare Island, an image of Clare Island. So we're very proud of that.
I do. My father died in 1957, an extraordinary thing. He was given a state funeral, the 6th state funeral in Irish history, and my mother came over for the funeral, and she had gone back to the States with my brother and sister, and she took me back after the funeral, and so I've been living in America since 1957. But I come back regularly, you know.
All the way.
Well, actually, they're having a documentary here in the Westport Town Hall about Padraig O'Malley, who's an eminent professor from Boston, about his work as a peacemaker, and he's known as the Peacemaker over very many years, not just between Ireland and the United States, but with other countries, from Afghanistan to Iraq to South Africa, to Russia, to Britain, and so on. So it'd be interesting to have a conversation with him about his life. Born here in County Mayo, went to America, and has all of that life's experience behind him. And given the geopolitics of the world today, and the fragility that exists arising from the Russian invasion of Ukraine, I'm sure his experiences in dealing with politicians and leaders of one sort or another over many years will be very interesting to hear.
Thank you for being here. As you may have seen from the Peacemaker, I'm not exactly one to do what I'm supposed to do, and that is have a convivial conversation with Enda.
Tom, this is day 2 of the O'Malley clan rally. So we're here in Newport. What's happening here this
Well,
today?
we're having a good time today. We started out this morning and we went down to Ballintubber Abbey. We did an excellent tour, a very excellent guide, and touched on the history of the O'Malley clan down there, because Tibba is buried in Ballintubber Abbey. After that, then we went on to the Museum of Country Life, and people just enjoyed that. It was a really good tour as well. So we're back here then in Newport this evening. We'll have a drinks reception, and after that, at the same time, we're running a genealogy workshop. We have a number of genealogists on site, including 4 members from the Mayo genealogy group, which is much appreciated. So after that, then later on this evening, then we're going to have a nice dinner, and we're going to have music by Sean Kane and the Doherty brothers and Ducey brothers from Foxford, which hopefully will be excellent. And we're going to do a bit of dancing and hopefully finish it up with a bit of a ceilidh, you know.
Excellent.
So we're delighted that things are going well so far.
You're one of the O'Malley clan that travelled from Belfast for this clan rally weekend.
I am. Yes, Kevin O'Malley is my name.
Your father, of course, was a former chieftain as well of the
Yes.
O'Malley clan.
Yes, so in the year 2000, he was very proud that he was the Millennium Chieftain. He was chieftain that year. He was also the bagpiper for O'Malley clan, and attended the O'Malley clan every year that he was able to. Bar the years that he lived in London, he was at every single O'Malley clan rally, and sadly passed away 7 years ago. So we're the legacy of that, yes.
And you have a brother, and he's continuing the O'Malley name in Europe as well.
Yes. So my younger brother Martin lives in Brno. It's the second largest city in the Czech Republic, and he's lived there for almost 30 years. He got married about 23 years ago to a Czech lady, and they've got 5 children.
5 O'Malleys.
5 O'Malleys, 4 girls and a boy. So they've flown in about 3 hours ago to Dublin Airport, and they're hightailing it for the O'Malley clan meeting, be here in the next 30 minutes or so.
It's a great idea for any family, I think, to do. I might even suggest it to my own clan. It would be something well worth doing.
Yeah, and there's quite a lot of them in your family.
Oh, gee, there is, yeah. I actually found there's a family in Connemara who had all the genealogy done and everything, and they found connections back to my great-grandfather's time. So that family I'd like to talk to about my own thing.
Eye of tears, eye of freedom, eye of fears, but it's not the eye you left behind. I died of hunger, I died of pain, I knew never see again, but the eye of home is always on your mind. I died of hope, I died of fear, I died of freedom, I of fear, but it's not the eye you left behind. I died of hunger, I died of pain, I will never see again, but the eye of home is always on your mind.
We're coming to the end of your vesture as kind of the chieftain of the O'Malley clan. You're the longest actually serving chieftain as the way circumstances
since
worked
Grace
out.
O'Malley, yes, yeah.
Yes, since Grace O'Malley.
Yeah, I'm, I suppose, a little bit sad. We've been through our 3-day event. It's been an enormous success, and this is our last session here in Navens in Tirnar. We'll be just having a few thank yous, and the main event is to inaugurate the new chieftain, Martin O'Malley, ex-governor of Maryland, and he'll be delighted to take up the position.
So, and of course, you put an awful lot of personal work into organising this weekend here.
I have, and everything has gone good so far. Now we're coming close to the end, but you know, I'm very pleased with how things have gone.
So what happens, Tom, then, when you become a former chieftain then, is it?
Yes, I get gifted with one of these medals with the crest on it, and that identifies the chieftains. You'll see a number of them around the here today, and that's how you identify them.
Okay. And the fact that you were this chieftain, and the reason you're the longest serving chieftain is because of the COVID.
Because of the pandemic, and we had 2 virtual gatherings, and they were very successful. The first one, we were very lucky that our president launched it for us, and he gave a very nice speech. So that's all up online, and it can still be seen online if people wish to review it. You know.
What do you miss most about not being chieftain, Tom?
All the power. I think, like, for me, it was a personal journey in that my father was there in 1953 and I was a founding member of the O'Malley Clan Association, so I did it to honour his memory, and that's why I did it, you know. And we're always thinking of people that have gone past, particularly people that are abroad and you know, living away from home, and our dead O'Malleys as well, you know.
And are you the longest surviving clan in Ireland, the O'Malley clan?
Yes, yeah, and you know, the longest clan that have celebrated our event every year since 1953. I don't think any other clan has been able to achieve that.
Fantastic.
Apart from the virtual events, of course, they were online, but.
And how are the numbers doing, the O'Malleys, over the years?
You know, again, I was telling the group that in the 53 one, it was a really huge event surrounding the restoration of Carrigahowie Castle, which is very close to here. And there was a lot of interest that they actually funded the restoration through subscriptions from the O'Malleys, both at home and abroad. And when to celebrate that, then that went on for about 4 years, from 1949 to 53. And when they got the money together and the work done, they had the first clan rally in 53. So there were 500 people at that, which was considerable. They had to do 2 sittings for lunch down in the Railway Hotel in Mulranny.
And finally, what would your legacy to be as chieftain this last year?
Well, my legacy is about reconnection with our people abroad. I brought a relative from Boston. We hadn't connected with him for a long number of years. He's the Peacemaker, and he's had a very high profile role in the Northern Ireland peace process, and I just wanted to bring him back and to show that, and acknowledge his work, his humanitarian work, and that was really the big highlight for me.
Look, we'll let you enjoy the celebration today and the inauguration of the new chieftain.
Thanks very much, Henry.
Two times Governor of Maryland, former Mayor of Baltimore, and with a great name like O'Malley. You're very welcome back to your roots here in County Mayo.
Oh, it's awesome to be back in Mayo. It's, that's just such a beautiful part of our world, just stunning countryside and really, really good and kind people.
Now, you're the incoming chieftain for the O'Malley Clan Rally. You've been inaugurated here today. What does this mean for you and your family?
It's a huge honor for me. It's a huge honor for my family. I grew up in a house in the United States of America where the Irish songs were sung all year round, not just on St. Patrick's Day. So it's just such a humbling honor to carry the title of chieftain of the O'Malley clan for this next year. And it was a great honor to be Mayor of Baltimore, a great honor to have served as Governor of Maryland, and this is the capper to be chieftain of the O'Malley clan.
Yeah. Is there anything as chieftain now for the coming year you'd like to do or implement for the O'Clan Rally, something you'd like to introduce for it?
Well, sure. The wonderful thing about this O'Malley Clan Association is the way that every year the next chieftain builds on the accomplishments that others have brought to the effort. So my hope is to stitch together another layer of organization, especially in the United States, so that in every metro area we have a man and woman that can stitch back together the diaspora and put it to good purpose. And there's that great song, Irish Ways and Irish Laws, and the phrase in it that we are a river flowing, we are a river flowing. And that's the sense you have when you gather here with this O'Malley clan and its association and its proud and storied history here in Ireland and Ireland's nationhood. So it's a humbling honor.
I know you have 4 children, and Grace O'Malley is one of the great names with the O'Malley clan, the famous Grace O'Malley. One of your daughters called Grace O'Malley. Was that intentional?
It was absolutely intentional. And we call her, in fact, when she pops up on my phone, it says Pirate Queen. Of course, now, fairness, we know she was an admiral and that the pirate moniker was something the British attached. But my daughter is a strong woman herself, and she was named intentionally after Grace O'Malley.
Very good. Do you get much time to play music? I know you're a great guitar player or singer. Will you be introducing, will you be performing here at the O'Malley Clan Rally over the weekend?
Yeah, I'll tell you, next year for our gathering on Clare Island, we're going to have a lot of great music. So I'm looking forward to that being sort of the centerpiece of the rally next year on Clare Island. Leo Moran of the Saw Doctors.
I know he's a good friend of yours as well. Yeah.
He has told me that he is coming. And fingers crossed, hopefully Luca Bloom as well. So we're going to have a great gathering on the island next year. And fingers crossed for not only good weather, but also the new national service ship, the Grace O'Malley, that's going to be in operation. We'll hopefully be making a visit to Clare Island. By God, it'll be the restoration of the O'Malley Navy, first time since 1593.
Finally, can I just ask you, I know you've retired. Have you actually retired from politics now, or are you still involved in it?
Yeah, I tell people I've been promoted. I'm a full-fledged citizen now. I don't think I'll ever be running for office again. My wife, however, as we record this, is running for Attorney General of Maryland. So she's the one that's going into battle now, and I'm at her side. We had a great moment last night. Sean Keane played, and Tom O'Malley, our chieftain for this year. Actually, he's been the longest serving chieftain because of COVID. And I've been the longest awaited one, astonished for the last 3 years. But we had a great moment. Sean Keane played last night, and he and his band were awesome. But then I was asked by Tom to lead the assembled in singing Oro Shedava Hawaya. And we did all 3 verses with great gusto. You could almost feel the galley being rowed out of the Hotel Westport there.
Well, look, enjoy your weekend here, and congratulations on the new chieftain of the O'Clan rally here for 2022-2023.
Hey, thank you very, very much.
Coming to the end of Chieftain Tom O'Malley, who has given us an absolutely wonderful few days, few years. So thank you very much, Tom. And now I will ask Tom to present the staff to our Tánaiste Martin.
Martin, I present the staff to you.
Hey, so, thank you, my friend. And now, Martin becomes the chieftain of the O'Malley clan. Martin, you go in the middle.
You're in the middle.
O'Malley, O'Malley, Abu, Abu, Abu.
Shedava havan barlein bor de begra du dehin geben de goibra is shall live melak. It's the deal to leshna gaula. Oro Shedava Hawaya, Oro Shedava Hawaya, Oro Shedava Hawaya. Anisher Hakton Tauri, Tagran Yuele Chakar Soya, Ogli Garma Lerma Garda, Elid Fensni Frakna Spani. It's good she druger gaule. Oro Shedava Hawaya, Oro Shedava Hawaya, Oro Shedava Hawaya. Anisher Hakton Tauri, Avwilleri na Bako Bekum, Mormem Biona Hegag Shakten, Ran Yuel Agashmil El Kashkag. Ek fogart van gaule. Oro Shedava Hawaya, Oro Shedava Hawaya, Oro Shedava Hawaya. Anisher Hakton Tauri. O'Malley Abu.